What's going on, everybody? Welcome to the channel for the first time viewers. Welcome back for my existing subscribers. It's your boy 5 Stars. I'm doing something a little bit different today. I'm going to be working on my first ever full review on a game. Now, the purpose of this will be specifically to give you guys some insight on whether or not maybe you were on the fence about buying Assassin's Creed, which will be the game I'm discussing, and you wanted to see some input from somebody else that maybe isn't a major reviewer and just a regular gamer. So if you want that kind of advice, then stay tuned for this video, because that's what it's going to be about. It's going to be about me providing you my feedback and telling you whether or not at the end I feel this is a good buy, or maybe you should wait for a sale to get this game. So to give you some background on how much time I put into the game before making the review, looking at about 15 hours worth of gameplay. I don't want to do any spoilers on this video, so I'm going to try to keep the gameplay limited to just kind of the beginning of the game and maybe a piece here and there from the middle of the game to maybe show what it is I'm trying to explain. Overall, like I said, the experience has been good so far. This is a very good game as far as how it's made. It has a couple of things that we'll talk about that could be tweaked or changed, but nothing that will have you running for the hills. So first, I want to go ahead and talk about the graphics in this game. This is one of the best looking open world games that I've played, and in the Assassin's Creed realm, I would definitely rank this as the best looking Assassin's Creed game, and it also looks better than the Watch Dogs games as far as the graphical details go. The Watch Dogs series is another game series from Ubisoft. It has pretty good graphics, but the downside to them is that it's more like a I feel like it's a little bit cartoonish as far as the environment goes, whereas everything in this, the textures that they use in this game, are on point, so they're A+ textures. Now, as the thumbnail suggests, I did want to give you guys some pointers on this game, and one of the pointers that I want to make sure that you know is that this game utilizes a lock-on system when you're fighting. You don't see me using it here because, like I said, it was at the beginning of the game, so all I was doing was playing this like any other Assassin's Creed, where they would lock onto your opponents automatically. This one is quite different. You do need to click on the right stick in order to, just like we say right there, you can lock onto your targets and all your hits begin to be more accurate. So every time you swing your sword, it's a lot more accurate and it goes towards the target versus just where you're looking. Now, I wanted to make sure that going into the game you guys knew this, because this is something that would have saved me a lot of time and a lot of headache and maybe 2 or 3 deaths. So make sure that you're clicking the right stick so that you lock onto your opponent and make all your strikes a lot more accurate. It also helps out to know that you cannot dodge more than 3 times. There's a roll that you can do if you press it 3 times fast, but then there's a kind of like a cooldown. So you have to kind of plan out how you want to parry the attacks. You want to parry some, dodge some, and some of them you have to dodge. You can't just parry them because they're powerful attacks. So here's the gameplay about taking over the base, killing the captain, and raiding the treasure or looting the treasure that is within that base. Usually that's one of your objectives, and to get a kind of check mark or XP for taking that base completely, you have to take the treasure from the chest as well as kill the captain, either 1 or 2 of them, sometimes more. So while this is playing, I want to talk about the stealth aspect in this game. Now, the stealth is not anything that's foreign to anyone. This is the same type of stealth that you can expect to see in every other Assassin's Creed game. So it's not anything, you know, it's nothing crazy. It's nothing like amazing. It's not Splinter Cell. It's not anything like that. So just basic stealth gameplay. You do have a couple mechanics like being able to whistle, like you could in Metal Gear Solid, to call somebody over, just like I did there, and then take them down while you're in cover. And that's pretty much the extent of it. Find tall grass, hide out, get out of their line of sight, and you're cool down for when they quickly saw you, versus when you're fully exposed and they actually make out who you are. There is this torch that they can light up. So you'll have somebody that will pop up and they'll have a little flame above their head because they're going to run up and alert every guard. So that's the person you want to kill. Other than that, the stealth, like I said, is just very, very basic. It's not going to be a selling point of the game. What I do want to focus on, if you are on the edge of getting this game, is that the landscapes are beautiful. The graphics are pretty good. This is the flame I was telling you about. And the way that I feel when I'm playing this game is that I'm always ready for more. Usually turn it on, play about 1 to 2 hours a night after playing, you know, these long nights of Rainbow Six Siege, This is a great way for me to chill, relax, and play something that's a little bit different pacing. And like I said, it's just one of those games that it's really nice to look at. And I just have an Xbox One S for now. My X is going to be arriving on Tuesday, so just in a couple days here. I cannot wait. So I can't wait to try this game out on the X, and I also can't wait to see what enhancements they make. I may make an update video to this review later on to show you what some of those changes might have been. Now, a warning to you before you go out and buy this game. It does have a couple of bugs and glitches, which I'll try to find the clip and include it in here for you so you can see. Nothing insane, but Bayek, which is the main character's name, Bayek sometimes does things on his own. As far as in the beginning of this video, you'll notice that I have a flame in my hand and he lights a torch. Like he lights one of the fire pits. And you don't have to make him do that. He kind of just does things like that on his own. If you're near an object, he'll kind of crouch down, or if you're standing on something, he'll sit down. There's a lot of things that he does on his own, but because of this mechanic, it kind of gets in the way sometimes, and he gets kind of glitched out. So if you're consistently moving, you won't really run into this issue. Whereas sometimes, I'm taking care of my daughter, or something's going on in the house, and I leave my controller down, and the eagle comes down, sets on his wrist, does his little thing. But then, because you're on like this pebble, he like climbs it, and now you're stuck. And you have to like call your horse and then try to mount it. You have to like find a workaround for little things like that. Does not happen a lot. So I just want to let you know that that does exist within the game. As well as the craziest thing I ever saw was somebody was straight up flying across the map. Like this NPC was just literally in the sky, cruising across. And I was just like, what the hell is that? But that was the craziest thing I saw in the game. Other than the beautifully rendered cities of Egypt, what you can expect from this game as far as a feeling that it gives you is this just feeling of being a badass. And it comes from unlocking better gear, and when you go to face higher level opponents and your gear is on point, like literally some of these swords have a bleeding effect. Some of these weapons, they just do different things. And the more of these weapons that you accrue, you can break them down for parts to make new weapons. You can keep them, or you can sell them to get more credits to buy things that you'd like. Another recommendation I have for you is I wouldn't buy a horse at the beginning of the game. You get a camel. I would not buy a horse. You can always visit a stable and just take a horse. It's the same place that you would go. It's like a little horseshoe that you see. You could always just go there, take the horse, and it's the same type of horse that you would have paid almost 2,500 credits or 1,500 credits for, which is a lot in the game. As you can see from the treasure I pick up, you only get like 1 or 2 pieces of gold for every pickup that you do. So wasting like 1,500 on a horse that you can just take for free is something I would recommend you not do. So with everything said, I definitely recommend that you go ahead and buy this game. It is one of those games that comes around once in a while. I'm glad that they took the extra time over there at Ubisoft to make this game, and it feels like a much better version of Assassin's Creed than the past games did. A lot of times they felt like annual releases. A lot of stuff missing, a lot of performance issues. And I know they say that the frame rate on this drops a lot, but I didn't really experience that. There were a couple of stutters, but nothing to the point where I would say, yo, this game is actually really laggy. You might want to rethink it. All right, so I have one last thing for you guys. If you're not already a subscriber, then go ahead and drop this subscription. But this last clip here is going to be of a pretty funny quest mission. It kind of highlights how well designed some of these quest missions are. And like I said earlier, when you complete a quest mission, you actually level up your character. So that helps you progress the actual story along. It lets you get into bigger and better places with tougher enemies, because it is like a Destiny where if you enter an area and you don't have the right gear, then you'll just pretty much get wrecked. All right, you guys take it easy. I'll catch you on the next one. I hope you enjoyed the clip.
There you are, my dear. I was worried about you.
Oh, my Dionysus. I remember. I went to the island because of her. She got me drunk, married me, told me I owed her a virginity tax. Whose virginity?
You can go. This is between me and my husband.
No, don't go. They'll kill me.
show him what happens when you try to cheat a woman.
Please, help me!
Forget him. He's just an idiot Greek. They have taken enough from our land. Yes, that is right. Taste your own blood.
Mercy!
Your my brothers! You have slain my brothers!
And
You were
thanks.
supposed to help
You
me,
saved my
not
life.
him!
And my purse.
In future, be careful when drinking with strangers.